Hello, what's up guys? Today I'll be showing you your most awaited content, the deck list for my Mayakashi Shiranui deck. And yep, please bear with me if I'm a little awkward or I'm a little off. I'm gonna butcher some words because well, Japanese, or rather English, is not my primary language. And from now on I'll be trying to showcase decks which are useful, which I've proven to be useful, and this one is the first. And you guys have been asking for this. Most of you have commented and asked for this deck list. So now, without further ado, I'll be showing you the Mayakashi Shiranui deck. And okay, let's view the deck. Let's go to edit. So again, apologies if I'm going to butcher some of the words. And yep, we start with Hajun, the winged Mayakashi rather. So most of you can probably summon this, and for the goal of getting another Mayakashi from your deck. So it's probably for special summons that you can use with links or with synchro monsters, and mainly Mayakashi synchro or link monsters. We'll be having 2 copies of Hajun, the winged Mayakashi. Next, we'll have 2 copies of Yuki-Musume, the Ice Mayakashi. So this one, you can special summon this card, then send 1 monster from your deck to the graveyard. I'm sorry if I'm a little what do you call this? I can't remember the effects. I'm actually relying on their chain, the auto chain of the game, but I am familiar with the effects, just not very. I don't recall them very much, because as you can see, if from this view, there's so much of them that look alike based on their colors. So yep, I always mistake them from one another, then I end up butchering my duels. So yeah, again, we will be having 2 copies of Yuki-Musume, the Ice Mayakashi. Again, 2 copies of Shiranui Spectralsword. This one is my favorite card. This one lets you special summon or synchro summon from the graveyard using this card and another graveyard monster. You just banish the 2 of them and you can synchro summon probably a level 5 or level 6 Shiranui monster, probably Shiranui or Mayakashi monster. So yep, this is very useful. Again, it relies on being in the graveyard to activate its overpowered effect. Overpowered in my opinion. So again, 2 copies of Shiranui Spectralsword. Another 2 copies of Dakki, the Graceful Mayakashi. This one is also my favorite because with this one, you can just keep upgrading your synchro monster again and again. Because whenever this card is in your graveyard and you special summon a Mayakashi, you can return this, or rather Mayakashi monster. Yep, only a Mayakashi special summon from your extra deck, and she's in the graveyard. You can then revive her and return her back to your side of the field. Then you just keep on upgrading your synchro monsters. That's what I do. That's what kind of combo I do with Dakki, the Graceful Mayakashi. So we have 2 of those. In case one gets banished or one gets negated or disabled, you always have a backup. And then 2 copies of Tsukahagi, the Poisonous Mayakashi. This one lets you you can special summon this card if this card is in the graveyard and a Mayakashi is destroyed, if I understand it correctly. Mayakashi monsters in your possession except Tsukahagi is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect. This card is graveyard. Yes, another one that can be special summoned from the graveyard. So that's the specialty of this deck, if in case you were wondering. You got this far without realizing it. Again, 2 copies of that, Tsukahagi. And now 3 copies of Shafu, the wheeled Mayakashi. Again, another card that lets you special summon from your graveyard when this card is normal summoned or special summoned to your side of the field. So again, another Mayakashi that utilizes special summoning lower level monsters, or rather other Mayakashis from the graveyard and to your side of the field, probably to special summon, synchro summon, or link summon another Mayakashi or Shiranui monster for this deck. 3 copies of that, Shafu. Then 2 copies of Shiranui Spectralsword Shade. This one you can tribute this card, then target 2 of your banished zombie monsters, except this card, including a Shiranui monster. Special summon them in defense position but negate their effects. So another card who can let you special summon from the graveyard, or rather from the banished zone. 2 copies of Spectralsword Shade, then 2 copies of Shiranui Spiritmaster. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 Shiranui monster from your hand or graveyard. But banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is banished, you untarget 1 face-up card your opponent controls, destroy it. So the whole focus of the deck is to utilize your graveyard and your banished cards to activate their effects. So this is a deck that is probably very frustrating to some opponents because most of the meta now is not just sending them to the graveyard, just sending them straight away to the banished zone rather. So with this deck, you can take advantage of that meta that they send your cards to the banished zone. This one isn't a Shiranui, but I thought of adding it to the deck. 1 copy of Samurai Skull, just a non-Shiranui or non-Mayakashi archetype, but also a zombie with an attack power of 1700. So if you're short of monsters or Mayakashis or Shiranuis, and this card is probably one of a very rare clutching card because it lets you send 1 zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard. I use this to send Spectralsword to the graveyard so I can utilize next turn its effect to synchro summon from the graveyard by banishing Spectralsword and another non-tuner monster from the graveyard. So 1 copy of that, and 2 copies of Shiranui Squire. Most of you know this card. This card is normal summon. You can special summon 1 Shiranui Spectralsword monster from your hand or deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except zombie monsters. So we won't have problem with that trade rather, because all of our monster cards are zombies. This card is banished. You can draw 1 card and discard 1 card. Again, another banished effect. The next we'll have 2 copies of Yasha, the Skeletal Mayakashi. This one is a high attacking power monster. Low level but high attacking power. You can discard 1 other Mayakashi monster special summon this card from your hand. You can only use this effect of Yasha once per turn. So yeah, it lets you special summon the card without tribute. Just discard another Mayakashi, which we have an abundance of in this deck. Then for this 2 next spell cards, these are adjustable to your liking. What else? What can I advise? Well, again, it's adjustable, so you can probably trade up these spell cards with other spell cards you want. So it's going to be Raigeki, as you all know, to destroy monsters on your opponent controls, and a monster Reborn. So we can again utilize the cycle of the graveyard, the banished zone, and your monster zones on your side of the field. Next, we'll have Mayakashi Return. Take one Mayakashi card from your deck except Mayakashi Return and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Again, a Mayakashi support which can utilize the graveyard. Next will be Call of the Mummy, a non-archetype spell card but also very helpful with zombie types. You can special summon one zombie monster from your hand. You must control no monsters to activate and to resolve this effect. One copy of that. One copy of Mayakashi Winter. Monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack or defense for each Mayakashi monster with a different name in your graveyard. So since we are sending a lot of Mayakashis to the graveyard, this one is one of the stronger continuous spell in our deck. You can only use one of the following effects of Mayakashi Winter per turn. Send this card and one Mayakashi monster you control to the graveyard. Be careful of that with auto-chaining spell cards and trap cards, or rather card effects in this game in Master Duel. I've been a victim of auto-chain for the longest time since the release. And yeah, it's butchering my duels. Or you can banish this card and one zombie monster from your graveyard, then target one Mayakashi monster in your graveyard, special summon it. I've used this effect rarely, but when I do use it, it's for a special summon of a Mayakashi Synchro monster in my graveyard. So yep, bringing back my stronger monsters that surprises the opponents without Monster Reborn, without Call of the Haunted. So yeah. Next, we'll have 2 copies of Ghost Meets Girl Mayakashi's Manuscript. So target one zombie synchro monster you control, special summon one of your zombie monsters with the same attribute. And since we have a lot of what is this? We have a lot of dark attributes. It's easy for us to just target and special summon cards from the graveyard. This one is also these 2, or rather 3 trap cards. Next 3 trap cards will be also adjustable to your liking, but these are my staple cards from back in Generation 1. Since I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I've always put these 3 in my deck. So we'll have, first of all, Mirror Force, 1 copy of Mirror Force, 1 copy of Magic Cylinder, and 1 copy of Bottomless Trap Hole. Next, we'll have Haunted Shrine. If you control no monsters, target one zombie monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one zombie monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Still, another card that lets you revive zombie monsters from your graveyard. I'm losing my voice a little. It's already 2:25 a.m. where I am, and I just couldn't prolong it because you guys have been asking for the deck list, and I don't want to disappoint you guys. It's a first for me for a video to blow up, and I'm really thankful. And this is my way of meeting you halfway, I guess. So after that, we'll have 2 copies of Mayakashi Metamorphosis. Discard 1 card, then target one of your Mayakashi monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. Special summon it. And you cannot target it with card effects this turn, so it's immune to card effects. Again, our staple effect, cannot special summon monsters from extra deck the turn you activate this card except Mayakashi monsters. 2 copies of Mayakashi Metamorphosis, 1 copy of Shiranui Style Success. Special summon 1 zombie monster from your hand but banish it when it leaves the field. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target 1 zombie monster you control. That zombie monster is again unaffected by card effects. This has saved my butt a lot of times in rank. So yep, although my rank is very low, I've not grinded the ranked gameplay, but I do play a lot with my friends, casual matches, and we try out a lot of different decks. Then just a short background story, I guess. Shiranui interested me because they looked like characters from Shaman King, if you guys are familiar with that anime. So that's what really pulled me into Shiranui. And then when I discovered Mayakashi, I noticed that they look a lot like Susanoo from the Naruto series. So yeah, that's what got me into these archetypes, and the whole reason why I combine the two archetypes is because they're both zombies. So yeah. One copy of Shiranui style success. Again, another adjustable or interchangeable card with your own cards. Negate attack. Actually, this trap card is I guess my last resort. I'm just looking for a better alternative to a negate attack. Probably something that negates a monster's attack, then inflicts damage or destroys a monster. That would be a great what do you call this? Replacement for this card for negate attack. Then we have Call of the Haunted again. Special summon a monster from your graveyard. Then we have Zoma the Spirit, a trap card that you can special summon to your side of the field as a zombie, dark, level 4, attack 1800, defense 500. This is a useful way of getting a chance to stall your opponent in case you can't draw a lot of combo cards. And then lastly, for the main deck, we have Mayakashi Mayhem. One copy of Mayakashi Mayhem. If a zombie synchro monster is special summoned except from the extra deck, even during the damage step, you can apply one of the following effects. Draw one card, set one Mayakashi spell or trap directly from your deck. Send the one monster with the lowest attack your opponent controls. This is my go-to effect. To the graveyard, or inflict 800 damage to your opponent. So I'd suggest you use either draw one card or send the one monster with the lowest attack, because every time or most of the time I drew this card or set this card on my side of the field. It was late game and it's a close duel. I'm eliminating the opponent's monsters, he's eliminating mine, and usually when I have this card, the opponent has only one overpowered monster on his side of the field. Then yeah, you can use the third effect, send one monster with the lowest attack, but since he has only one, so you get to send that monster to the graveyard. Alright, for the extra deck, sorry, I'm getting getting exhausted. My voice is getting exhausted. For our extra deck, we have one copy of Oboro Guruma, the Wheeled Mayakashi. So, just a heads up, most Mayakashi synchro monsters have two effects, and it's usually the same flow. Which is, if a synchro monster in your possession is original level, etc., destroyed by battle or card effect, while this card is in the graveyard, you unbanish one other zombie monster. If you do, special summon this card. Or if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can activate the effect. So most Mayakashi synchro monsters are like this. Like, their effect is like this. You'll see in the next few Mayakashis. Next, we have Tsuchigumo, the Poisonous Mayakashi. Again, synchro monster in your possession whose original level is 7, destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect. While this card is in the graveyard, banish one other zombie monster, and if you do, special summon this card. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can have each player send the top 3 cards from their deck to the graveyard. I rarely use this. I just use Tsuchigumo in combo with Dakki to level up the synchro. So usually I go from my lowest Mayakashi Mayakashi Synchro Monster, which is the first one, Oboro. If I'm not mistaken, yes. I go with Oboro, and then I usually use this with Dakki, with the effect of Dakki. Then you tribute them for synchro. Dakki stays in the graveyard, then you synchro next a level 5 synchro monster, level 5 synchro Mayakashi monster. Then you bring back Dakki. Then next you special summon a level 7 Mayakashi, bring back Dakki. Level 9 Mayakashi, bring back Dakki, until I get to level 11, a level 11 Mayakashi. You'll see later which one that is, if you're not already familiar with it. And now, next we have one copy of Shiranui Sword Saga. This is Shiranui Synchro Monster. As you can see, you can only special summon Shiranui Sword Sagas once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can target one monster in the field, change its battle position. If this card is banished, you can special summon one Shiranui token, and you can only use this effect of Shiranui Sword Saga once per turn. So also this one, I also rarely use this one, just to upgrade a synchro monster, not really for its effects. Then 2 copies of Shiranui Samurai Saga. This one most of the time I use this card. You can target one of your banished zombie type monsters, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, change the defense position all monsters your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to that monster's. If this card is banished, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 500 attack. 2 copies of Samurai Saga. 1 copy of Tengu the Winged Mayakashi. Again, a Mayakashi synchro, so as expected in the first effect. And the second effect is, if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can destroy one spell or trap your opponent controls. So I forgot to say that this is why we have Monster Reborn, Call of the Haunted, or what's the other one? Haunted Shrine, is for the effects of the synchro monsters, of the Mayakashi synchro monsters, to be special summoned from the graveyard to activate their additional effects. So take note of that when going into a duel with this Mayakashi Return deck. Next, we have 1 copy of Red Ice Zombie Necro Dragon. This one isn't a Mayakashi or Shiranui, as you can see. Again, another one of my additions to this zombie deck. Gains 100 attack and defense for each zombie monster on the field. This one would be a lot useful if we have Zombie World. And actually, I'm not really fond of Zombie World because most of the meta today can destroy a spell card easily. So I don't really use continuous spell that much, or field spells. But if you want, you can add Zombie World to your deck, and it would be a good combo for this card, since it can turn, I believe Zombie World can turn all monsters on the field to a zombie type, both sides of the field. So yep, you can use this card with Zombie World. Next is 1 copy of Shiranui Squire Saga. This one is a powerful effect synchro monster, but not so much in terms of attack and defense. You can spend only once per turn, you can banish one face-up monster you control or in your graveyard, then apply these effects depending on the monster that was banished. If it is a zombie monster, you can have all monsters you control gain 300 attack. If it is a fire monster, you can destroy one spell or trap card on the field. If it is a synchro monster, you can destroy one monster in the field. So this is easily achievable with other Shiranui archetypes. You can easily achieve all of these effects and apply it because of one monster that you banished, which is a synchro Shiranui fire monster. So take note of that as well. Again, 1 copy of Shiranui Shogun Saga. This card is special summoned or synchro summons. Synchro summons are considered special summons. You can banish one zombie type monster from your graveyard. This card gains attack equal to the banished monster's original attack. This one is for clutches. Until the end of this turn, if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished zombie type monsters with 0 defense, which is a common defense value for zombie types. Return it to the graveyard. Next, we have Yoko, the Graceful Mayakashi. I've barely used this as itself, or rather to use its effect. Again, this is one of the synchro Mayakashi monsters that I use just to get to level 11 synchro. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls. One copy of Shiranui Sun Saga. If this card is special summoned, you can return any number of your zombie synchro monsters that are banished or are in your graveyard to the extra deck. Then you can destroy cards your opponent controls equal to the number of cards returned. If a zombie monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish one Shiranui monster from your graveyard instead. So that really speaks for itself, I guess. This is one of the most powerful Shiranui archetypes I have in my deck. So, yep. And this is my favorite Mayakashi synchro monster just because it's the most powerful, and it most of the time surprises my opponent because of the Dakki and the Mayakashi synchro monster combo. So it's an endless loop until I get to Gashado Kuro. So one copy of Gashado Kuro, the Skeletal Mayakashi. This is the card I was talking about when I said that Mayakashis look like Susanoo from Naruto. This and Tengu, the winged Mayakashi. So this one looks like the stage 1 of Susanoo. The one where it's just a skeletal aura, and Tengu is the eternal Mangekyu Susanoo for you Naruto fans that can relate. So Gashado Kuro, instead of utilizing synchro monsters being destroyed in your side of the field, it replaces it with a link monster being destroyed on your side of the field. And for the second effect, if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can activate this effect this turn. This face-up card is unaffected by other card effects, so it's immune to card effects. Most of the time, this is a finisher for the duel. It can't be blocked by Mirror Force or Magic Cylinder or whatnot, because it would be unaffected by other card effects, basically. So now for our three link monsters, we have one copy of Yuki-Onna, the Ice Mayakashi. This card points to a synchro monster. Your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks. If a synchro monster in your possession is destroyed by battle or card effect, while this card is on the field, you can target one face-up monster on the field. Its attack and defense become half its current attack and defense until the end of this turn. Next, we have Shiranui Skill Saga Supremacy, another favorite. Synchro monster you control. Synchro monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Fire monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target one of your banished zombie synchro monsters, special summon it to your zone, discard points 2. So, speaks for itself again. And lastly, one copy of Yuki-Onna, the Absolute Zero Mayakashi. You can only control one Yuki-Onna. Negate any activated effects of your opponent's banished monsters. If a monster is special summoned from the graveyard or a monster effect is activated in the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can target one other face-up monster in the field, change its attack to 0. This one you've seen from one of my past videos, where it literally turns one monster's attack to 0 and I just end up wasting that monster with this card as well. And if you do, negate its effect. So this is another dual finisher and a very clutch card to have. And so yep, that was my deck list for my Mayakashi Shiranui. I'm sorry if it's a bit long. This is my first time making one. Maybe next time will be trying to shorten the video, or rather just sliding through the cards without explanation. Also, for those of you who could not finish this video, I will put the deck list in the description, so I can save you the hassle of watching a 30-minute video. So yep, thanks guys for supporting. I hope you guys subscribe, like, and share the video, and watch my future content. So yep, goodbye, and as always, happy gaming. Bye byes.